shown a detailed report telling our viewers what this FTA would usher in both for EU and India. But in simple layman's terms, help us understand the significance of this free trade agreement that comes into effect after almost 2 decades of negotiations and talks.
Well, to explain to our viewers how this free trade agreement will work, what exactly is a free trade agreement and how this is going to benefit our economy as well as the economy of the European Union, we have to understand first that what exactly is a free trade agreement. It's an agreement between two parties, especially mainly two countries, where the trade happens without many of the tariffs that are levied on the products that are coming in from abroad. For example, if you are buying cars from Europe, the cars that are made there have used to have a tariff of about 110%, which means a car that it should cost about 10 lakh rupees ends up costing 21 lakh because of the 110% tariff that has been levied on it. And now and same goes for other kind of things that we import from the European Union, the things that are manufactured there, that includes watches, that includes several of things like perfumes, clothes, probably automobiles, other kind of things as well. So all of these tariffs that are levied on these products get slashed under the free trade agreement. Ideally, it should be 0% because it's called free trade agreement, but it will happen in a phased manner to protect the domestic industries as well. So when the tariffs are slashed, and what we are hearing on many things, let's say automobiles, if the tariffs are right currently 110%, if it gets slashed to about 40%, and then goes on to just 10% in a phased manner, the cars that were supposed to cost us 21 lakh rupees will end up costing only about 11 lakh. So that's going to be a huge benefit for our public. Now, that is how the free trade agreement is being envisioned for a range of products. Similarly, the Indian goods that used to go to Europe used to have a tariff on them as well, and that is why the things that we used to export used to cost more expensive to the customers in Europe, and they used to prefer other country products, for example, products coming in from America or products that had lesser tariffs. And now with the free trade agreement, if the tariffs go down, the European government will also take a lesser tariffs and lesser taxes on these products, and the goods will be available to the European markets cheaper. For example, let's say pharma sector, if they had a tariff over 100% and it gets slashed to 10%, that's going to be a huge cost cut for the European customers, and they're going to buy more of our products. So that is how the free trade agreement is going to happen, and it is going to open a huge market for the Indian products and a huge market for the European products as well here in India and there in the European Union countries of about 27 countries. They are rich countries, mostly from developed economies, and have a huge market as far as several of Indian sectors are concerned, including pharma sector, textiles, and other areas as well. So we can see potentially a rise of exports to these countries, a rise of import as well of cheaper goods. So it's going to benefit the customers, it's going to benefit the traders, and it's also going to boost the trade between the two parties.
All right, Akshay, so you explained to us FTA in very simple terms using the word tariff, and tariff has become very infamous given the situation the world is facing
Absolutely.
at this time. But then talk of the timing of this FTA that comes into effect. Given the way US has imposed sanctions, has imposed tariffs on many countries. So at this point, what does an FTA between European Union and India mean for both European Union and India, given the alternate markets for both the sides to explore?
Well, let's start with India first. We have a huge textile sector. Other countries like Bangladesh has a huge textile sector. Vietnam has a textile sector, and we are competitors as far as our products are concerned. So, if let's say Bangladesh has lesser duty, on their products, so the Bangladeshi products are going to cost cheaper to the European markets. That will make the European customers buy more of Bangladeshi-made products. And if the duties are higher on the Indian products, they will cause cost more expensive to them, and that is why the products get sold less in their market. So in exchange, if let's say if under free trade agreement duties are slashed to a minimum, our products get cheaper there in their market and more exports grow. So India, we have seen in the last 10 years, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has focused on Atmanirbharta, that is self-reliance, growth of manufacturing sector, growth of other kind of sectors as well. So our goods and services that will be provided to Europe now will cost lesser. That will mean that more of our manufacturing base can expand. We can manufacture more, export more to the European countries, and these are going to be top-end products because of the developed economies there in the European Union. So it's going to be a huge boost, a huge economic boost for our manufacturing base, which can expand, has found a new base of customers, and the products will be significantly cheaper than our competitors. So that is going to be a benefit for our country. In a time like this, when we are seeing geopolitical turmoil, as you have rightly mentioned, tariffs increasing in countries like US has slapped about 50% of tariff on Indian goods. So that means that Indian products are costing much more expensive now than they used to do earlier. So we have to find alternative markets as well. And under free trade agreement, we will get into an agreement to send our goods there, and our goods will be cheaper. So the customers there in the European Union will be happy. The manufacturers here will be happy in exporting and finding new customer base. So it's going to be a benefit for India. And if you talk about European Union, similar is the case with the EU. They're trying to find they're in fact finding a lot of obstacles as far as their trade with the US is concerned. Under Donald Trump's presidency, tariffs are being talked about on the European countries as well. There is a war already going on with Russia. So as far as the food products are concerned that used to come from Ukraine, they are scarce. Other kind of finished products that they used to rely on are seeing other markets open up. So it's a competition going on, a full-scale economic competition also going on under the garb of this new Cold War that has erupted across the world, with trade tariffs being talked about on almost all the countries by the US, which is a huge market. So it's European Union will find a new market, India will find a new market in European Union, and it's going to be beneficial for both the sides as far as getting into a written agreement that is legally binding as far as the two sides are concerned. So the manufacturers, the customers can be assured of their products coming in at a reasonable price, and other products going to other countries, finding other customer base at a reasonable price as well.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those insights.